I'm a nobody, baby. Light me up, pour me up, I'm gone. Got me seeing genies in a bottle. Liquor got me feeling like a wrestler. Call me Santiago. Everyone listen when I speak. Don't know shit about shit, but I know ball.
What's up, everybody, and welcome to Two Nobodies with the Mic, episode 142. Sorry for the delay. Technical difficulties, as they say in the business, right, Mr. Holmes?
That is it. Shit happens.
Yeah, thank God my IT person was here, although I think I figured it out. Anyways, guys, welcome back. We had a little bit of a break last week. These are the dog days of summer. Not much going on. We had the All-Star game, which was a hit. We could talk a little bit All-Star game, but guys, we are the gambling show of record. We're going to talk sports. Training camps open today. NFL, the King of Kings. Plenty of talk about there, but let's go into our introductions. In the center, we have Eddie Money, executive producer. What up, man?
What's up? What's up?
How you doing, Papa?
Chilling. Just been working like 13 out of 14
your
days.
Well, there you go, man. There you go,
Hey.
making that money. And if you guys haven't recognized our guy, I feel bad doing a show called Two Nobodies when we have Mr. Ryan Holmes on, because he's definitely not a nobody. Actually,
Mr.
has
Somebody.
very successful. Yeah, Mr. Somebody. He's a somebody in the group here. Ryan Holmes, Quad Pod, wrestling podcasts, everything wrestling, athlete to athlete. The guy, journalist, a real journalist, which gives us some legitimacy in our podcast. We want to thank Ryan. Thank you, Ryan, for joining us. Appreciate
Good
you,
to be
man.
here, gentlemen. Good to be here.
Yeah. I see you repping the Atlanta Falcons hat. How is your feeling, your aura of NFL season? We have opened up. Everything hunky dory in hot Atlanta.
I think things are good, man. I and the reason I say that is because all of the pundits they hate the Falcons right now. They think they have a bad roster. They hate the moves they made in the draft. It's like, it's funny because they're like, the Falcons have the worst pass rush in the league, and they address it, but they're like, and they're like, yeah, they have the worst pass rush. They need to address it. And then as soon as the Falcons address it, they're like, no, not like that. Right. And it's just like, you're supposed to wait. You're not supposed to, get two good guys in 1 year. And they're trying to say that, James Pierce isn't it's just like, just stop. Like, they got the guys that they wanted. They made the moves that they needed to make. I'm actually happy about the draft that they had. So no, for me, I'm in a good spot right now. I think, the offense is going to be humming on that nice little lefty that we got there, and things are going to be great.
Yes, stole their damn quarterback. Eddie Money, tell him, welcome to the Raider Nation. The pundits always hate us. Doesn't seem to work for us, though. When they hate us,
No, they're usually right about
shit
that, though.
goes
It's
bad.
more different.
Hey, listen, your boy Gino dropped a bar today, though. Did you see that quote that Gino had today? Gino is highly quotable.
Not.
He's that's what I love. I love athletes that are highly quotable, because that always gives me something to talk about. And he dropped an absolute bar. He said, I didn't come to Vegas to roll the dice. I came to run the table. Like, Gino, my man.
I like it.
I respect it. I respect it. Gino is that dude, man. He is certainly that dude. So I loved it. Absolutely dropped the bar today.
One of four quarterbacks last year that threw for 70% completion percentage. Just a little dart, little tic tac there for you guys. What up, tricksters? Rick Flores in the house, man. Everything's going good. So guys, we only have one rule. That is not to be a loser. We're going to talk a lot of sports. We're going to get into some NBA, some Major League Baseball, some the mindset of the modern athlete. I can't wait to talk to you about that, Mr. Holmes. But let's first start off with our favorite segment and our first segment called You Are Fired or You Are Hired. Brought to you by new sponsor, Nomadic. Nomadic is a travel, a traveling bag, garments. It's just like the most. First of all, they're fire. I just went to Cabo, and 2 or 3 people asked me, never seen these bags before. If you guys check this out, man, check this out. This is the whole set right here. It is just freaking awesome. Inside this backpack, because it is a backpack, you have sunglass protector. I mean, laptop, you name it. We just want to give a big shout out. Go check them out on Instagram, Nomadic, Nomatic. Nomadic, man, we love you. The gear is bomb. Eddie Money, I still have some amazing shirts and shorts. The functionality of the gear and the bags is off the charts. I know you, Ryan. Are you still doing photography at all? Because they have some badass photography bags as well.
Not as much camera work as I used to. Mostly just sitting in front of one instead of behind one these days. So, but we'll see. There, like I said, there's conversations. There's been a lot of conversations this summer about next moves and who I can potentially work with. So we'll see. We'll keep that under wraps for right now. But there's a good amount of conversations happening, and the content creation can move potentially from this office surrounded by sneakers to a cage or a mat near you pretty soon.
Woo! I'm liking what I'm hearing, man. I love what I hear. Go check out Nomadic. Their slogan is "Life on the Move," and it's just fire gear and a big shout out. But let's get into your fired. Who wants to start? Or you could hire. And guys, we are live on YouTube and Instagram. So please, if something is grinding your gears, a la Family Man, or someone has impressed you, or you want to give flowers to someone, let us know in the chat. We'll give you a shout out. You have questions for Eddie Money or Ryan or me, let us know. This is an interactive show. The more you participate, the more fun you're going to have, the more fun we're going to have. Who wants to start with your fired? Brought to you by Nomadic.
I'll start with a higher.
Eddie Money?
Yeah.
There you go. Positivity.
Let's see if mine gets approved this time.
Yeah, that's right. You're 0 for 2 last 2 weeks.
I'm 0 for 2. I'm 0 for 2. So let's see. I'm gonna hire Dana White. He went on live, I believe it was yesterday, and announced the main card for UFC 320. It looks amazing, and it's also in Vegas. So I'm planning to go see it with some of the homies. It has the rematch of Magomed Ankalaev versus Alex Pereira, and then also another championship fight. You have Merab versus Corey Sandhagen, and another great light heavyweight fight. You have Yuri Prochazka against Khalil Roundtree. So 3 amazing fights all on the same card. Planning to go to Vegas and just live it up that weekend and watch that in person, because in person UFC fights, top tier live event.
Nice. What weekend is that again?
It's October 3rd, I believe. October 4th.
3rd. You definitely get approval. I still don't know much. I don't approve of Dana White. If I could vote for that dude for president, I would. I think he's a genius, and he knows how to promote an event and knows how to entertain people. We just saw Power Slap in New Orleans, followed by a great card, right, the following day at the UFC. Some great fights, and Dana White knows what he's doing, man. He knows what he's doing, and he keeps control. And when we're going to talk some WNBA, and I think UFC, we might have some intercrossing talk there as well. You have anyone that you want to fire?
No, I'm
just hiring people.
Now.
Nice. Mr. Holmes, you firing or hiring today?
I'm firing today. I'm certainly firing today, and I'm sure people, once I say this, people aren't going to be too surprised, but I'm firing the Bengals front office, and I feel like it's very necessary, not just because of how they're handling Hendrickson, but also how they're handling the rookie contract negotiations with Stewart. Sneaking in this clause, it's bullshit. Let's call it what it is. Like, you don't like, this is the Bengals trying to be a test subject for some new clause with rookies specifically their defensive rookie that they drafted pretty high. Like, I don't, when they need defense the most, is the dumbest thing ever, right? Like, I think that what is happening with this year's contracts between the Browns and the Texans deciding to go fully guaranteed with second rounders, and then you have the Bengals that are deciding that they're going to sneak in some clause and make Stewart some test subject for some stupidity of like anything detrimental to the team, and all his guarantees are wiped away when they're the judge, jury, and executioner of what is detrimental to the team. It's bullshit. And then you have the Hendrickson bit to all of it, where all the other guys that, and I know Rafa is talking about the last time we talked about Hendrickson, of he wasn't a game changer. He didn't help them win games, this, that, and whatever, but the man still led the league in sacks. And you've got guys who are definitely, I'm not saying that he's better than Watt or any of the man giving Rafa wet dreams, but for them to get 3 years of guaranteed money, and then Hendrickson only gets one when he's told, you ball out, you handle yours, and we'll take care of you, is just ridiculous. So the contract negotiations in the front office right now in Cincinnati is atrocious. Joe Burrow needs help defensively more than offensively, and this is where they want to play some games. So for me, it's that Bengals front offense that or front office that needs to be handled.
Yeah, I'd even go as far as to say just ownership. Notoriously cheap, not like, charging for meals, and it's been going on forever. There's two teams I don't want to be drafted by. I don't want to be drafted by the Bengals, and if I'm a quarterback, I don't want to be drafted by the Chicago Bears. But I mean, that looks like it's even on the way to at least getting better. But completely, both of those approved, man, and it's ridiculous. And if I'm Joe Burrow, it's like, listen, I'll be GM too. Like this has to be handled. They're so close, Ryan. They're so close. You saw what happened last year. They're giving up like 37 points a game or something like that. And Joe and Chase and all those guys, T. Higgins, they were putting points up on the board. And I would equate it to a comp, right? Do I think he's Micah Parsons? No. Do I think he's Max Crosby? No. But if you have a house on the market and you're sitting in between, two comps of $20 million homes, even though yours is not maybe as nice, but listen, Hendrickson led the league in sacks. It's not a Shaq. You have to be within market range, and they're continually just fumble this shit over and over and over again. So firing approved. Now,
by the way, Michael Brown snuck in the Raiders in the list of teams you would want to be drafted by.
You know what? We'll get to that right now, Michael Brown. Hold your tongue. Hold your tongue, young man. Okay, because my firing is specifically Jerry Jones of the Dallas Cowboys. And like I said, training camp's now open. And,
this is an evergreen firing, by the way.
It's Jerry Jones has continually been, first of all, he's the GM. He was asked yesterday in a press conference, a reporter asked him, have you ever thought about maybe handing over the GM responsibilities? I think his son might be GM. It's just like, yeah, that's like having my grandson who can't talk, be my financial advisor. You're just going to do whatever the hell you want. His son has no power, so he said, yeah, I've thought about it for a millisecond. And my take is this: Jerry Jones, and I've said this for the last 2 years, he is slowly morphing into Al Davis. And guys, first of all, am I a Cowboy hater? I'm not a Cowboy lover. This is not a Raider fan hating on the Cowboys. This is a Raider fan sympathizing with Cowboy fans because I see what's going on. He's myopic. He has He's continually on his own radio show criticizing coaches, undermining coaches, criticizing players. Micah Parsons came out today, or was it yesterday, and was asked, how are negotiations going? He said they're not going very well. He just wants to be taken care of. And Michael Brown, he referenced Max Crosby. He's like, I just want to be taken care of. He's like, Max deal wasn't even near up yet. He had 2 more years, but they appreciated him and they got it done early. How many times, Ryan, have we witnessed Jerry Jones, and I don't know why this is, trying to be a hard ass, whether he thinks it's old school, not getting ahead of the curve. When you see a franchise player like Dak has been, or Zeke has been, because they've all been franchise tagged and mishandled, and now Micah Parsons, who with playing, it's so obvious that he is a franchise defensive player. Why wouldn't you get out in front of this? Pay him now. You'd probably save money in the long run. Can you explain what his reasoning is? Or can someone get to him and be like, you're doing it again, Jerry. You're doing it again. You are. What is it? Can someone explain it? Because I'm confused.
I saw there were a couple of things
Right.
lately. There were a couple of things lately where, I have a ESPN on during the day where you can, it's on in the background. And when something comes up, it, kind of piques your interest. Right. And Chris Canty was talking about when he was in the draft and how he visited with the Cowboys and, just his visit with Jerry and how it's about he basically summed it up with saying that he felt like dominating headlines was first priority and being America's team and being the most talked about and the brand of being a Cowboy was more important than winning games at a certain point, right? Because to Jerry, it's become a business, and it's always been a business, obviously, but the business he entered in the NFL, the byproduct was championships. Not the business was number one, the byproduct was championships. And that's why he got rid of the coaches that he's gotten rid of in the past, right? Where Jerry wasn't getting any attention. Now he gets all the attention for the most part, but he gets it for stupidity. And not to make this political at one bit, but Trump said something the other day, and it reminded me of the way that Jerry Jones treats like the team, is where somebody asked Trump the other day during a presser of like, did somebody explain this to you? And his response was, nobody explains things to me. I do the explaining. And I'm like, that's exactly how Jerry Jones thinks about the Cowboys. Everybody thinks that he needs to be the one to step aside or whatever else. And Jerry's like, I'm in control. I'm the guy. This is my team. I'm going to do what I want. So it's funny because inevitably he ends up doing the thing that he's supposed to do with paying his players. But over the last couple of years, it was Dak not getting paid. It was CeeDee Lamb not getting paid last year. And now we've got Micah Parsons. So, it's you can't. And not for nothing, it's a new day, and we'll get to the athlete mentality later, but it's a new day with professional athletes in particular, where they hold a lot more of the power that Jerry isn't ready to relinquish. And it's also another reason why you see Nick Saban getting out of college football, is because the players are getting a little bit more say and power into things, and those old school guys aren't a fan of it. So with them not being a fan of it, they have to hold on to, the little bit of power that they have in these negotiations, or they're going to cut bait like Nick Saban did and went off to, something completely different. But for me, I feel like it's just Jerry just looking at everyone and saying, I make the decisions, you don't make the decisions. So you're going to listen to me and we'll make the deal on my terms, not when you say so, and not a second sooner. So that's Jerry in a nutshell, though, right? That is exactly how Jerry thinks. That's how he goes about everything. And the money will be paid, but it won't be paid until Jerry's ready to make the payment. But he loves flying very close to the sun in this regard and feeling like he's the biggest game in town. We're the Dallas Cowboys. Who wouldn't want to play here? When in actuality, like, it doesn't look like it's a lot of fun to play for the Cowboys and to play for Jerry Jones. So we'll see what happens, certainly. But Micah's like, listen, I understand that this is a business, but this is also a business for me. And I will take my talents somewhere else if you guys, don't want to stick around to make that negotiation happen.
Yeah, a la LeBron James. This is why I see the parallels. This is why, as a Raider fan, Al Davis built a brand, a strong brand. And in the 70s, 60s, 70s, and 80s, they were the winningest franchise for a while, right? Then he started thinking, I know what's best. This is now, how many years now have the Cowboys not won a championship? In 1995? They're entering this, I'm telling you, it's not too far away, where if you don't win, because they have talent. That's the thing, is that they have talent and they should win ball games. But like you said, Ryan, it's all about the brand. And that's what the Raiders had built. But I'm sorry, man. We're talking about generations now. My kids, I have some children that have never seen, Raiders win a playoff game, and we're entering that stage for. There you go.
Eddie money.
Sorry, Eddie. I'm sorry, but I'm sure your dad passed the Raider legacy down to you. Am I correct?
Yeah.
I'm saying that.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I did the same with my kids. And my kids look at me like, what have you cursed me with, Father? What have you cursed me with? This is the stage we're entering with Dallas Cowboys. And there's no denying that he has built a brand. But I'm telling you, it's not going to be too long where these kids are, Cowboy fans get made fun of almost more than Raider fans at this point, almost more than Jets fans at this point. And I'm just saying there's so many parallels between Jerry Jones and Al Davis. And they were good friends. They were buddies, They got along, and not too many people got along with Al Davis. So I don't know, that's a very dangerous precedent to set. What do we got from Zero Cool? What's up?
Rocco Brown earlier said he runs the Cowboys like it's WWE. They're making more money off the field, so he has more leverage.
I mean, it's hard to argue, but that you could write the script. Jerry Jones can't write a world championship in his ending. That's the only difference, is that there's other organizations that are winning and winning at a great clip. You think of the Chiefs, even Steelers, the Patriots were doing it for a while. So,
Rick Flores said, especially since they were considered America's team.
Yeah, because they were winning in the 90s. That's so old.
Yeah.
Like, I think that's
Not
the
anymore.
thing, right?
There's no America's team anymore.
That's the thing, is like they were branded this America's team, and it was because of their popularity, but it was because of winning really cured all. And it's why there are so many of my friends in Pennsylvania that were Cowboys fans. It's why my girlfriend's a Cowboys fan, right? Like She was born in 91. She was born into the Cowboys winning championships. Like, it's just how it works, right? So like, it's just kind of ingrained in a lot of people of this was like the greatest show for us to watch, right? And it's just so wild with how it works. But like, that's the problem with Jerry Jones, is they won all of those championships. And when they won all those championships, he started to kind of drink his own Kool-Aid of thinking that he made all of these perfect decisions that put them in place to do all of this, and that he could do no wrong. But like, the man needs to, listen to Biggie's 10 crack commandments. You don't get high on your own supply, my guy. And that's exactly what happened. And now it's 20 years later, and they haven't even sniffed a playoff game. It just doesn't even happen anymore. So yeah, the brand is certainly bigger than the team is now. And winning has become secondary. I mean, Rick Flores is talking about the cheerleaders too. Like, cheerleaders have Netflix specials and TV shows and stuff. Like, It's because of the Cowboy brand that has been built. You build a brand, and you saturate the market with you guys being the best and being championship winners. But when the well dries up on those championships, and all you're left with is a catchy nickname that doesn't really do anything, and some cheerleaders that aren't being paid a lot of money until they complain, and you realize, oh, America's team cheerleaders aren't getting paid any money to be part of this global marketing.
Yeah.
It's just like, is this a football team or just a way of selling merch?
Well, like I said, they're playing a dangerous game, in my opinion, and I feel bad. When Rafa's hot take, and I still tell him to this day, this was his worst take when he thought that Ben Johnson was going to take the Cowboys head job. I feel really bad for Brian Schottenheimer. If they don't come out hot, he will get thrown under the bus so fast. I mean, he's like a dead man walking at this point, in my opinion. And what I want to see
on him to be coach of the year.
He's saying all the right things right now, though. I will give him that. Schottenheimer's saying all the right things. He certainly is in his pressers, but it's an uphill battle for that man this year.
Yeah, he was like plus 3,500, and he texted me, he goes, "Hey man, just got a feeling." I was like, okay.
I mean, shit, put $5 down. That's a healthy win. It's only $5.
And then Michael Brown on
That
Instagram, he said, Eddie Money with the mustache looks like she should be on a wanted poster in Pico Rivera. Mustache is striking.
Damn you, Michael Brown. Yes. Leave
Mustache
Eddie Money
stash,
alone. It looks great. I love the stash.
Thank you. And then Zero Cool said okay, but RP to Ozzy. Ozzy Osbourne died yesterday.
Yeah.
Legend.
Rest in peace to Ozzy. What a legend. Yeah. Been listening to Ozzy for 2 days now. Yeah, I was a head banging 9-year-old listening to Ozzy, hiding the records from mom and dad. Yeah, that's 100% legend. I've been to Ozfest. That was freaking cool. Actually saw Ozzy play in the Forum for the Black Sabbath reunion, and it gave me chills. That dude, his eyes, something in his eyes. I said that dude looks a little crazy, but put on a hell of a show. Great entertainer, and Ozzy will be missed for sure. Shout out to Zero Cool for mentioning Ozzy. Yeah, very, very freaking cool dude. And I feel like Ozzy is the originator of the knuckle tattoo. Ozzy, like, dude, no one had the knuckles tattooed, and Ozzy put the Ozzy on there, and still an OG. And yeah, will be missed for sure. Back to the Cowboys now. And I'm gonna finish on this. Ryan Holmes. This is what I want to see, because he's not going to hire a GM. I believe this thing's going to all unravel in a horrific way. My crazy two nobodies take, which you could tag right now, is that somehow, some way, Shedeur Sanders will be traded mid-season to the Dallas Cowboys, and Deion Sanders will be your head coach of the America's team, Dallas Cowboys, next year. And that, my friend, will be like a big brother. I want cameras set there like a reality show day in, and they will be, because Deion will have his camera crew there, and that brand will explode. Whether they win or lose, I don't know. But that's my crazy hot take, is that Deion next year will be head coach with Shedeur. Not saying he'll start, but Shedeur will be on that team. Can you guys see that? Is that crazy?
That I do not see that at all.
I hope that doesn't happen. I don't know if the sports world would be able to handle if that happened, because every year is the Cowboys' year. That phrase would probably cause an earthquake here in Texas with how many Cowboys fans say it in unison. if
Oh,
that
yeah.
was to happen.
Oh yeah.
That'd be bad.
That's-
That'd be really
that's
bad.
what-
That'd be sports headlines for like a full year. That'd be so annoying to see.
I would
That-
probably never turn on ESPN again.
Yeah.
They might change the network to prime time. Just get rid of ESPN and the prime time network. I'm telling you guys, if the Cowboys have a losing season, what would make everyone forget about that? You bring in prime time, and it's just like a nuclear explosion of hope and headlines and brand and gear being sold. I mean, dude, the star, like Zero Cool said, the awesome star. You add like a pair of shades on the star right there. It'd be like
Jesus.
Carl's Jr., man. Come on, dude. I need to brand that.
It'd be
that's
like
gonna happen.
Carl's
I'm
Jr..
telling you guys. bigger. So yeah. That is your fire, brought to you by Nomadic. Thanks, Nomadic. Go check them out on Instagram, TikTok, online. The best traveling gear on the planet. So that is your fired. Anyone else? Last call for your fired or hired. Anyone want to hire anyone? And with some positivity. All right. Forever, say it now. Forever hold your peace, guys. Thank you very much. That's our first segment. Should we just go right into here we go. Zero Cool. What does Zero Cool have to say? Then we'll move on.
It wouldn't work. Dion is having success because athletes want to play for one of the greats. In the NFL, you are stuck with what you have.
I mean, guys in the NFL, trust me, and you could vouch for this. When guys have been paid and got their money, they tend to gravitate to they want that ring. I mean, they want to get paid first, but guys who are living well, high on the hog, they're looking for that legacy and getting those rings. So, Dion's respected in the NFL, man. Very respected.
Not by front
What'd you
offices.
say,
but
Ryan?
He's respected by players, but not by front offices.
Okay.
Yeah.
Good point.
Fair.
And that was
Fair
shown
enough.
in the draft. That was definitely shown in the draft.
Oh, yeah.
by Shador being dropped. That was a residual effect on Shador.
The biggest, you are not bigger
Yes.
than us.
Great
Like,
point.
movie
I want to give
Deadpool.
you a point. Yeah, for sure. For sure. So, guys, let's get into the NFL, man. Training camps opened up. I mean, we have guys that are holding out. Scary Terry McLaurin, Penn State alum.
Ohio State.
Ohio State, yeah. Rafa would disagree. Not a huge fan, but the guy has produced and continued to be I would say, top 12 receiver in the NFL the last 3-4 years. Eddie Money, would you agree with that?
I personally would agree with that, but we all know I'm a big Terry McLaurin guy. Rafa would say he's probably a bottom 10 receiver in the league. So,
I mean, Ryan, you talked about it earlier. This is somehow going to morph into first it was we all started with the Deshaun Watson fully guaranteed contract. That started with now quarterbacks want to be fully guaranteed. Now that is morphed into first round guys want fully guaranteed money. Now, I mean, where did we stop? What guy? It's somewhere in the second round where if you're the 33rd pick and he got guaranteed, the 34th pick and his agent is like, well, he's guaranteed. I want to be guaranteed. I think Jack Besh for the Raiders, what was he, 38, 39th pick? He got, or Zach Beck, he got guaranteed a contract. Where is this going to end?
I forgot which guy started it first in the league, the second rounder to get fully guaranteed. And it took a while because like if one second rounder is going to get fully guaranteed, basically all of them are going to get fully guaranteed. So that's what took so long with Zach Beck. But he wasn't the first one. But I forgot who it was.
Yeah. I mean, where do you see this heading to, Ryan?
I mean, like I said, when I started out, the second rounders from the Texans and the Browns are getting fully guaranteed deals. And that's like, that is not at all, what the NFL wants. and there was what, like a collusion. There's some sort of NFL collusion, right? When Watson got that deal, they're saying that the owners and everything were colluding with
Mhm.
each other to make sure that didn't happen anymore. And that's the issue that everybody's running into. And now the NFL is probably scrambling because now second rounders are getting these contracts from the Texans and the Bills. And as the Bengals are trying to sneak in some BS clause into their contracts. So it's just like, what is going on with contracts? Like there's a new era of sports, and it's not just NIL in college. It is the players are starting to see across every league, right? Well, I think we have WNBA on the docket too. The players are starting to see, or at least try to utilize, how much leverage they have with these contract negotiations, realizing that the league doesn't really go without them. But the thing you have to remember is we've seen replacement players before, right? We've seen guys, we've seen it. I can't remember what year it was, but the movie Replacements wasn't just like some harebrained scheme that, Hollywood created. It actually happened. Like we have seen that happen before. So I don't know if players would ever hold out again. But it's certainly a thing that has happened. But like, I feel like the players are starting to see how much leverage they have. And even though it won't be collective, I was listening to Dominic Foxworth and Bomani Jones I think it was on one of their shows on YouTube. And Foxworth was talking about how he was part of the players union, and he was like, I think president or vice president when he was still in the league. And the shift that is happening is you have these guys who they want their money, but they forget that the reason they get that money is because of the players union and the CBA. So it's just like, you got to go watch the show, because I'm probably butchering some of the things that they were saying. I kind of had it on in the background as I was doing work, but there's certainly a shift happening where you see this shift between the front office trying to do some things with rookies, whether good or bad, with guaranteed money or new clauses like the Bengals, or you're seeing these veterans who are getting taken care of, like Max Crosby, or there's players that are just like, I'm not getting what I'm owed, like Hendrickson and some of the other DNs that have been paid this year. It's like the year that the DN is like huge. These pass rushers are big business this year for these veteran pass rushers who have been in the league for a long time. So as they're looking at players that are getting guaranteed money and they're coming in as rookies, and they're like, wait a second, why are these rookies getting 4 years guaranteed as opposed to me, who has been here and produced, and I'm getting 1 year because of where I'm at in my career? It just doesn't make sense. So I think we're going to see a shift. There's going to be some different collective bargaining agreements that I think go on that are really, really necessary between the players and the front offices. And I think there's going to have to be some sacrifices made, probably more so on the side of the owners, if they want to keep their houses intact. Because right now the players are getting together more and more, right? I think the last time I was on, we talked about tight end university, and then, Bijan was just hanging out with Christian McCaffrey. So like, these players are getting together from team to team, and they're discussing contracts. They're discussing business, even though there's a lot more distractions with players having podcasts and stuff like that, they're thinking more, they're getting more business savvy. And when they become more business savvy, that's worse for these front offices, because then they also have the agents that can talk in these meetings. And that's a big issue specifically for these front offices.
Yeah. Max Crosby came into camp with his Sack Summit hat on. That's put on in Vegas for DNs. I think Von Miller and Max had that thing up. So you've never been more correct on that. You think these guys are just talking spin moves and rip, push-pull technique. You're dead wrong. These guys are training, going over trade, and then 1,000% talking business. Not only football, but hey, I know a guy over here, you put money over here. that's the new way of the athlete, man. These guys now understand their shelf life in the NFL is very short, and let's figure out how to make and more power to them. That's what they should be doing, finding
And
ways
it's not
to
and
maximize their potential.
And it's not just in the NFL, right? Like I remember seeing a video where James Harden was talking about how Kobe Bryant told him to invest in was it the drink body armor,
Yep.
right? So like
Yep.
if you're starting to see how people are changing their families' lives with being athletes, where they can do a lot more with business, and they're realizing that they are the business, right? They are the commodity, and they have the capital to do it. So I feel like they are becoming more business savvy as players because they have to. Excuse me. But I also feel like the front offices are trying to employ tactics that used to work that worked on players that weren't having the contract conversations amongst their peers. And now they're doing that across their own league and outside of their league to see what goes on in the NFL, in the NBA, in MLB. As you see where the big money is in the MLB and the NBA, these NFL players are like, all right, well, how can we start to create some of those same conversations for us, even though they're not going to get paid NBA and NFL and MLB money? They have to have the conversations that allow them to gain when it comes to contract talks.
Yeah. 100%. I saw something. We talk about Ben Johnson and the Bears. Ben Johnson came out today in a press conference and said, my goal for Caleb Williams is for him to pass 70% completion rating. Mm-hmm. And he's done it with Jared Goff, right? With creativity, with not a lot of progression reading, right? It's design. I'm wondering, and then to back that up, they asked Caleb. He said, not only do I want to throw 70% completion rating, but I want to throw for over 4,000 yards, which no quarterback in the history of the Chicago Bears has ever done. Rafa has his opinion of Caleb and why it wouldn't work in the NFL because he's too ad lib, wants to make the big play. Do you think Caleb can conform to this? Because 70% completion, Jared Goff is not running around. He knows where he's going with the ball, delivers it, added with a great running game, of course, and play action. Do you think either one of those are attainable for Caleb in Chicago?
Man, he's going to have to become more cerebral, right? Like it has to be more between the ears than it is anything. And I think this is where, and people are probably going to call me crazy. I feel like this is the part of the game that Shedeur Sanders has that people downplay a lot of because of how shitty his offensive line was, specifically at Colorado, because he had to try to manufacture, and he was probably seeing ghosts a ton of the time because he didn't have trust in the guys that were in front of him. So I feel like if given the protection, Shedeur Sanders can be a very good pocket passer because he's and create with his legs, right? But I think Caleb was that guy that could create these highlight plays, which is, let's face it, what won him the Heisman in that year, where he was creating these highlights. He was, manufacturing different plays and stuff like that and doing things that people we'd obviously seen before, but he was doing things that were on that next level. So that's why he had the draft stock that he had. But he needs to be settled down. He needs to be taught to, now you use your legs as an extra weapon. This is a card you play when you need to, not when you feel that the play is already broken and now you're running around like a chicken with your head cut off. He has to be more cerebral. And I think that the changes that they can make for the offense, because it's not like he's a bad thrower of the football. It's not like he has a bad release. No. It's not like he's not accurate or anything else like that. He can throw the ball. And if they change some things to make him more cerebral and read the field, or at least not have to have to read half of it,
Mhm.
and give him a clock in his head, then yeah, I think it's something that can be attainable. But he's going to have to settle down and not try and go for home runs every single play and think that that's what he has to do, because that's basically all he's done for the last couple of years. So yeah, I think Ben Johnson can create for him, and he's kind of he's a quarterback guy in the plays
Yeah.
that he creates. And I think that it's kind of a good fit, because it's a project for Ben Johnson, but it's also going to be a good fit for Caleb, because he's going to learn truly how to play between the ears before he plays with his feet.
Yeah. No, I mean, if I mean, we're basically talking about Patrick Mahomes. You know, Patrick. I mean, Caleb has the arm talent. There's no question. He has arm talent. He has amazing pocket presence and escapability. And you know, that is what head coach Andy Reid has done for Patrick. And if Ben can do that, where do you see him? You know, it's fantasy football time, guys. Fantasy football drafts are around the corner. Where do you see him going fantasy football wise?
Well, that's the thing. I want to go back to the Patrick thing though, because Patrick had some time to grow and not be on the field. Caleb has to grow while being on the field, right? He was thrust into the starting offense and being the guy immediately. So his growing pains are front and center, whereas Patrick's growing pains were not so much front and center because he was a backup. So he was able to get reps in practice, just kind of like why everyone feels so high on Michael Penix. Penix was able to kind of sit back, learn the offense a little bit more before he was thrust in for the last 3 games where he had to make some changes, right? So you start to become more confident in the reps that you're taking where you're not getting hit, and you actually have time to see it and allow it to slow down, right? So I feel like for Caleb, he wasn't allowed to do that, and he was thrust into, let's face it, it was a shitty offense to begin with, and was trying to be the magician to get all these things done. I don't see him being drafted very high. I feel like he will potentially sit in these fantasy drafts for a little bit. I think somebody takes him, but they take him and keep him on the bench. He's a backup to start for anyone. I mean, if I'm drafting him, he's an extra guy to draft until it's like, okay, Ben Johnson has this thing figured out. He's got him humming. He's doing the thing that he needs to do, right? Now let's put him in, right? Like, and maybe not even that. Like maybe he gets a fantasy start because your starter's on a bye week and he balls out, and you're like, all right, maybe we can leave him in there. But I don't see him being drafted. I see Aaron Rodgers still being drafted ahead of Caleb, right? And there's probably more unknowns with Aaron Rodgers in Pittsburgh than there is with Caleb being in a new offense with the same team.
For sure. Eddie Money, I just thought of something. I know who Ryan is picking. Eddie Money, just off the top of your dome, give me your first 3 draft picks. Say you had the first 3 picks in fantasy draft. I'm curious. Off
first
the top
3?
of your dome, the first 3. 1, 2, and 3. Not your first round, second round, third round. Who's
like
your
for
first
the top
3
3
picks?
best players in fantasy? I'd probably say Justin Jefferson, Jamar Chase, and Bijan.
Ooh, I like that list. I like this. What about you, Ryan?
That's off the top of my head.
That's really good.
Yeah. I mean, I agree with Justin Jefferson and Bijan. I think there's a couple other wide receivers though. Like Jamar Chase is amazing. I think there's some other guys in there that would have like my number 2 or number 3, right? I don't. That one's a more of a toss up for me. I don't want to go with the same 3 guys that he just said, but 2 of them I think you're on point. Honestly, 2 of them I think you're on point.
Really good.
I think
really good.
the man. It honestly, it could be 2 running backs. It could be for me Jefferson, Saquon, and Bijan, to be completely honest.
It probably, I bet you in ESPN drafts, Saquon is probably number 2, but I don't like drafting someone off like a really like one of their best years because they're only due for regression.
Yeah. Yeah, and that, I mean, that's what I'm obviously going off of. Like, but I do think I would probably take 2 running backs, Bijan being one of them. Obviously, I'm super biased, but it would be him or Derrick Henry that would be in that top 3. Like, it would be a running back that is in the top 3 for me.
Yeah, I like drafting running backs. I'm a running back guy.
Yeah, especially like, but that's the thing is like with Bijan and with Saquon, like they can, despite Saquon dropping the ball to give the Falcons the win last year, Saquon can catch the ball out of the backfield, right? So like, he's got that kind of a X factor type of thing. I'm really interested to see how Christian McCaffrey does this year, coming off of injury, and him and Bijan spent a month together. In like the last month training, and said they worked really hard, but they had more conversations about stuff off the field and about recovery. He said they worked really hard, but they spent more time on body recovery than they did anything.
I hope so.
Man, that's exactly what Christian McCaffrey needs to be doing. I hope Bijan's learning it too.
I know.
We've all seen those incredible training videos of Christian McCaffrey and the rigorous, stretching and track drills. And it was almost, you're looking at him like, dude, it was almost a matter of time before some snaps the way he trained like that. And I'm one of those that got burned last year. I took him first. Do you think CMC will fall to second round in a lot of people's drafts because of durability issues?
100%. But I don't think he passes middle second round.
Yeah, he's still a high second round pick, but I think he's still drafted after Bijan, Saquon, Derrick Henry, Gibbs. Like, people are going to wait.
I'll say this: Ashton Genty will be drafted before Christian McCaffrey.
I was gonna say that too. I think Genty does get drafted before Christian McCaffrey.
Now that's a bold take. What's up, Matt Rocha? Who's Matt taking in his first 3 picks? If you're out there, shoot us your first 3 picks in your fantasy draft.
I have a fantasy draft next Saturday, so I gotta brush up on some of this.
Dude, that is way too early for a fantasy
draft.
That's
what I told them, but they want to do it early. We're doing
You're just itching.
They're itching. I guess
that's crazy.
We got to do it like a beer relay to determine the draft order.
Oh, we got to get a camera crew out for that one. So you're drinking a beer, running a lap, or how does that work?
It involves like drinking a beer, like running across the field, taking a shot, and like doing like a one-handed catch or something like that.
Jeez, this is college kid combine is what this is.
My God. No wonder they're so excited. They just want to get hammered. Just take them out and say, guys, let's wait 4 weeks. Yeah. Go have some drinks. We don't need to have a fantasy beer draft or whatever. That's dude, so many injuries happen in preseason and camp.
That's what I told them about. They were like, "No, man, we're just doing that." I was like,
okay. That's crazy. Any other NFL news out there that stands out? I'm trying to think. Dude, I'm curious. I'm curious, Ryan, on why everyone. Listen, I'm a huge fan, but why you consistently hear your running back being as one of the top 2 favorites getting picked in the fantasy draft? His numbers, Bijan's numbers weren't mind blowing.
Yeah.
Why do you think that is?
He wasn't. Because he will have a quarterback. His fantasy numbers were good, but the offense will be better under Penix because if you don't recall, he had a quarterback who was holding back from telling the team he was injured because he didn't want the number 2 guy to get on the field and thought that he could will himself into getting the Falcons wins when in fact he crashed the season. So I think that's where where it's coming from is he has a capable quarterback, one that can go under center and run stretch or run play action. So it opens the offense up. I think Penix opens the offense up for Bijan to be the guy that he needs to be. And that's ultimately really what it is he's explosive. He's been making plays since he was a rookie. He's been one of the better guys in the NFL for the last, since he came into the league. So I think that's why people see the potential that he has. And then obviously, like I said, like Michael Penix is a guy that will truly open up the offense. They're gaining some chemistry this offseason with how much they've all worked together. And the offense will certainly be different going into year 2 with this coaching staff of who they've brought in as well with the rookies on defense. So I feel like the offense will now get the focus that they need with having a more capable quarterback. The stat came out today that Kyle Pitts is going into his 5th year in the NFL. He's had 6 quarterbacks. Like,
Wow.
Kyle Pitts hasn't been otherworldly from any stretch of the imagination. He's made his mistakes, and I am not very high on him. I am not surprised they didn't pick up his 5th year option, which I didn't want them to do in the first place. But to have that many quarterbacks going into your 5th year says a lot, right? Like, Bijan has had I think 4 at this point too. So like they've had so many guys under center that I feel like now they have some consistency. And even, I mean, don't want this to happen, but I even feel like if we did get an injury to Michael Penix, that Kirk Cousins should be healthier now than he was last year. So he is still more capable with a year under his belt of coming off the Achilles injury. That should be a thing of the past. And then any other injury that was nagging him last year should also be gone too. So I think that's the thing, is just like the fact that he has a capable quarterback. And that's why people are like, this shit's actually going to work this year.
Yeah. I know we've talked in the past about the Madden jinx, which I am a firm believer in. Because it's happened to me. Like I said, last year took CMC. Saquon is he's not that dude who has not been injury prone. And at running back position, other than, Derrick Henry, who's been just a model of consistency and a monster, you see this all the time where running backs have an incredible year and have a fall off the next year. Any predictions on Saquon? Can he be as impactful as he was last year?
He's going to have to be. Because if all of these conversations right now about Jalen Hurts are to be true, Cam Newton firing back at Ryan Clark, the guys on ESPN firing at Cam Newton. Like, Cam Newton he's kind of spitting facts, guys. Like, Jalen Hurts is a capable quarterback, but he's not he doesn't have to be Superman in order for them to win. He had a great Super Bowl, but let's be honest, like, the guys around him balled out, right? Like, Jahan Dotson had a great Super Bowl. The defense had a great Super Bowl. Cooper DeJean picked 6 on his birthday in the Super Bowl. So like, he may be the nucleus, but he's not asked to be Patrick Mahomes. He's not asked to be any of these other. He's not asked to be Joe Burrow, where Joe Burrow has to will this offense and make these throws and make these plays. He has the luxury of handing it off to the running back who's now on the cover of Madden because of the year that he had, right? So that's the big difference. So Saquon's going to have that year in order for them to continue to win the way that they did last year.
Yeah, for sure.
His line for the year right now is at 1,500.5 rushing yards. Does he go over or under?
Saquon?
Yeah.
I think he goes over that.
Yeah, the only way he does it in my book is if there's injury.
If he gets injured.
That team relies. AJ Brown needs to be cool with 1,000 yards, maybe 105 receptions. Although AJ Brown is a beast, and there was a lot of misconception that he was angry because he was reading on the sidelines. They won a world championship. AJ, settle down. Let the boy run the rock. That team is Saquon. And I'll say this. And Jalen Hurts, I believe, is the perfect guy for the job. The perfect even keel leader who doesn't need a lot of flash or a lot of attention. He's cool with the tush push and his touchdowns. But yeah, I would say over in a heartbeat. What do you think, Eddie Money?
It's according to this, it's the on BetMGM. It's currently the most popular bet out of all season-long props is the under.
It's a Madden curse
Is
that
the
everybody's
under.
thinking about.
Yeah, Rusted
Madden
Royalty
curse.
also said under.
Oh, Rusted Royalty, what's up, man? Dude, I mean, the thing is that defense is young, and I just that's a train I don't want to get in front of because the offensive line, defense is young. If Saquon can stay healthy, I don't see anyone beating them. I really don't. Let's talk some Buffalo Bills and Josh Allen. I think he's one or two in MVP, hype. It's probably him again and Lamar. The Buffalo Bills, I think their first 4 picks went to the defensive side of the ball. We all know what Josh Allen can do, but is this going to be a case of where Josh needs to take a little step back, be more of a game manager, let the defense don't take as much risks, maybe manage the game a little bit more? Where do you guys see the Buffalo Bills and where they're headed, and can they finally beat the freaking Chiefs this year?
I don't think that he needs to change a thing, because if he does, that changes the overall team.
Oh, yeah.
Even if the defense is better, Josh Allen changing his approach to the game and not trying to take over when he needs to take over or whatever, like that'll have an impact on that defense, because they already know that he's the guy on that team. They already do. It's, we're running behind Josh Allen, whether we're on offense or defense or special teams. He's our guy. So I feel like he's the guy that people are going to obviously look to as the quarterback and returning MVP. Whether he deserved the MVP or not, that's still up for debate. But I feel like if he was to change his approach, it would change that entire team.
Yeah. Also,
Money?
They didn't really acquire anyone like star worthy. So the team still relies on him. James Cook, if I believe.
Bosa, man.
But isn't he hurt already?
Yeah, there was something. I saw something about James Cook already. And Keon Coleman was supposed to be this big, great thing. Hopefully, a second-year breakout. We'll see. But their best receivers should be him, and he didn't really improve that much last year. So their second best receiver is probably Dalton Kincaid.
What's your thought on Keon Coleman, man? I mean, personality-wise, he's probably my favorite receiver.
Oh yeah,
I love Keon Coleman.
But
I love him.
Florida. That's why I'm asking you. Florida State, man.
I loved him. I loved him in Florida State. I mean, he had some amazing catches, and I thought he would have a better rookie year than what he had. But again, he was a one-man crew, so it wasn't like there was somebody else running a go route on the other side that could take away from him, right? Like you're taking away a guy that you just drafted 33rd overall, who was basically a first rounder, right? Like you're taking him away. The rest of the offense has to run through Josh Allen. We saw what happened when, it came down to a throw at the end when Kincaid completely drops the ball. Even though Josh Allen is in trouble, he still gives a very catchable ball, and Kincaid can't come up with it. So but no, I think Keon Coleman can certainly have a breakout year, and that's not my Florida State homership coming through that. I think he's a very good wide receiver. He just needs help as well, right? He needs some sort of a counterpart, some sort of a deep threat on the opposite side, because even though he can be a deep threat, he's not a consistent deep threat. He's a guy that you want to get the ball to quickly and let him get his catches and let him get into a rhythm, and then he can potentially take the top off the defense if need be. But I think in the NFL, he's a guy that you want to get the ball out to quickly. Quick release, get him off the line, 7-yard turn, something quick to get him consistently involved in the passing game. I think that's his role in the NFL more so than it was at Florida State. Florida State, he was going deep. He's running digs. He's running corner balls. Like, he's running all of it, right? In the NFL, it's just not his game. These guys are all faster, if not just as fast as he is. So that's not going to happen. He's not a take the top off the defense kind of a guy. So he needs to run, maybe some crossing patterns as another guy is taking the top off that defense to kind of open things up. But they're also going to need a running game in order for that to even happen.
Yeah. Let's end our NFL segment on this last team. I didn't even tell you guys I wanted to talk about them, but I keep on hearing murmurs and guys that I talk to, guys that are pretty smart around the NFL. And I want to talk some Los Angeles Rams and what you guys think. I've heard, and Eddie, if you could check out what their odds are, Super Bowl and division wise, if you could find that. Puka, obviously, I think top 10 receiver. He's proved it. I love Matt Stafford. I love head coach and his whole mindset and his creativity. As much as I don't want to say this, because Davante Adams, kind of dogged my Las Vegas Raiders with Cooper Kupp now not being in Seattle, that opens up over 100 targets. And I think that Davante Adams, Matt Stafford, when he is going to see, 100 targets, maybe 7-8 targets a game with a veteran like Matt Stafford and a great running game and a good coach. I hate to say it, Rams have been GMs have been very smart, been great drafting guys, in a very division that is not very strong. I think the Rams are a sleeper team, man, and no one's talking about them. But like I just said, I've heard some very smart guys tell me, watch out for the Los Angeles Rams, specifically, Davante Adams, that running back. I forget his name, from Notre Dame. He's great. They've improved the defense. Any thoughts on Davante Adams and the Rams and what you guys feel the same way?
I think he makes it offense scarier. That's for sure.
They are
ahead, Eddie Money.
McVay.
There's plus 1,700 to win the Super Bowl, which is they're the sixth best odds team. Third best odds to win the NFC, plus 800, plus 700 to be the number one seed, and plus 175 to be the NFC West winner in their division.
So that's not very under the radar then.
No, Vegas is
pretty positive
on them.
Wow, the Sharps must be in on,
They have a pretty electric offense. I mean, you laid it out.
Yeah.
There's a good amount of targets coming for Davante Adams.
Yeah.
It's gonna have to, right? But like, and he has obviously a better catch radius than Cooper Kupp did. Where Cooper Kupp was a guy, he wasn't fast, but he was certainly quick. And I think that was what gave a lot of these teams the issues. But like, Davante is enormous, one. So if he can't beat you off the line with quickness or speed, he's going to beat you with power. And people are going to see that. He's large. He is a big ass dude. And him and Puka working together, and you know that the first thought was, let's put him on the same side of the field. Let's put Davante Adams in the slot. and let
Oh,
him
yeah.
have a chance to either run right or left instead of putting him out wide and cutting off the field. We're going to give him options to run across the field or run a post corner, run way more routes than if he was just lined up outside. And then that will also open up for Puka, who we've seen make just crazy dynamic catches. So, from that standpoint,
gosh,
I think it's going to be, and we know what kind of a Mad Hatter McVay is when it comes to offensive play calling. It's been crazy. It's been absolutely crazy. So the thing about it though is I watch probably a ton of interviews and people breaking down football all the time. The defenses are starting to catch up a bit in how they are playing these offenses, where you're seeing more amoeba defenses where they're not showing as much.
Mhm.
And then they kind of morph into something to take away your best wide receivers.
Yeah.
And that came from all of the different shifts and changes that McVay was putting into that Rams offense. And people were like, well, we got to fix this. And they started to fix that with their DBs, with, going to nickel sooner or putting a faster guy or just kind of moving guys from corner to free safety. Right. So I think that's going to be the matchup, right? Is people are figuring out how to play these McVay offenses. So it's how inventive will McVay be this year with his new toy in Devontae Adams? I think he lines up in the slot so much this year. I think they do put them obviously on opposite sides of the field, but I think they put him in the slot and allow him to have two-way goes on a lot of his routes.
Yeah,
you'll see that.
I'm just
open up a little more of that route tree use for both of them, I think.
As much as I'm not a Rams fan, I'm a huge Matt Stafford fan, and always have been. Was bummed out when I thought the Raiders had a shot maybe to Tom Brady. I thought Tom Brady had taken him to
those like 48 hours where he was talking to
Yes, I was like, please. I had some Raider buddies like, we don't want. I'm like, dude, Matt Stafford, first of all, is one of the toughest SOBs I've ever seen. You've seen the highlights of him getting just destroyed in Detroit, and the no-look passes, and just the constant professional that he's been.
Speaking of Detroit, I think they're gonna have a tough time this year. Speaking of Detroit, by the way, I don't think it's gonna be as sunny in Detroit for them this year.
I thought that was Philadelphia. Yeah,
that
dude,
too.
I love everyone knows that I love me some Dan Campbell. That offense was just so dynamic and so innovative with Ben Johnson. I think they're gonna have a hard time. And you lost your defensive coordinator and going to the Jets. I know their defense wasn't amazing, but it does change a lot. Losing an offense and defensive coordinator in the same year, it's not going to be as easy as you would think. But so, yeah, I agree. But, I don't put anything past Dan Campbell and him getting knocked down and eating your ankles and your kneecaps and eating you all the way up. So, good point, guys. Let's take a 2-minute break. I got to run. I'll be right back. And if I'm not back in time, go ahead. What are we going to get into next, Eddie Money? Give a teaser so we keep the people hanging on.
I'll probably get into some WNBA and MLB in a little bit. Big news in there.
Ooh, I know some guys have got a hold of me and are dying to talk some WNBA and just pay us or whatever those T-shirts were. I know Ryan has some good stuff on it. We'll be right back. Play the funky music there, Eddie Money.
I'm a nobody, baby. Light me up, pour me up. I'm gone. Got me seeing genies in a bottle. Liquor got me feeling like a wrestler. Call me Santiago. Everyone listen when I speak. Don't know shit about shit, but I know ball. Call me the guru. Bells coming ringing when I'm winning. Come on, I told you that's who. Specify, do it live. I told you. Always coming with the heat, Riley with the facts. Jax, let them know. Eddie Money, Luke, CJ, replay my parlay. Hitting when I don't even know. I'm a nobody, baby. Light me up, pour me up. I'm gone. Got me seeing genies in a bottle. Liquor got me feeling like a wrestler. Call me Santiago. Everyone listen when I speak. Don't know shit about shit, but I know ball. Call me the goo. Bells coming ringing when I'm winning. I told you. Don't be like guy. Don't be a loser. You know why I'm a nobody. Didn't even try. That's on me. I am that guy. Talk my shit. I said what I said. So many hot takes, mic glowing red. Everybody wanna be about it, I doubt it. Get money, motherfucker, no questions about it. At the win, not complaining about it, we win. I'm a nobody, baby. Light me up, pour me up. I'm gone. Everyone listen when I speak. Don't know shit about shit, but we know ball.
What's up, everybody, and welcome back to Two Nobodies with the Mic. Thanks for hanging around, everybody. We got Ryan Holmes in the house. We have Eddie Money. We just talked an hour of NFL football, baby. We are back. We are so back. Well, I think 5 weeks. Is it 5 weeks till something like that? I don't know.
Something like that.
Maybe it's 5 weeks till college. Maybe it's 5 weeks till college. Either
I think
way,
it's 4 weeks till college.
Football's right around the corner.
Four weeks till college. I think it's 5 till NFL.
Yeah.
I'm hoping, Eddie Money, you bring back prop picks of the week. A great segment that Eddie Money did a lot of research on. People loved it, Eddie Money. And I asked you to do it last year. You didn't want to do it. I don't know why, but I'm putting you on the line. You need to do your prop picks. People love them, man. But listen, we've held off long enough. The hot topic, whether it's a slow time or not, it's WNBA. WNBA All-Star Game just ended. We all saw what the collective women came out. The shirts, pay us what we're owed. Does anyone remember exactly the quote?
It said,
pay us what you owe us.
Yeah.
Pay us what you owe us. Listen, I'm going to put it out there. I've tried to educate myself on this subject. My knee-jerk reaction was immediate anger. I'm not going to lie. I was like, what? It was until I started hearing more, right? And I'm still not sure exactly how I feel about this, but I promise you that Ryan is going to be way more educated than I am. I don't know, Eddie Money, big WNBA guy. Have you done research on this whole subject?
I did some bit of research. Let me see if I can find what I was looking at earlier, though.
So my knee-jerk reaction to the group chat was like, you got to be kidding. Pay us what you owe us. First of all, I had no clue on like average salary. I had no clue on percentages. Also still have no clue on total revenue. I know that they have a TV deal coming up, supposedly worth $200 million. I think right now it might have been $20 million. So I know that the league is heading in the right direction. Whether we all agree, I think Caitlin Clark undeniably has been a reason for a spike in ratings. I don't think you can deny that. But Ryan, when I did hear that they only get 9% of revenue share going to salaries, and NBA, NFL, they're all in the 50s. I said, okay, not crazy, right? But now WNBA management league is saying, well, and I have heard this, that it's not a profitable business yet. Some say, are they cooking the books? Because, they don't have to show us everything. It's not like we can go in there and say and audit the WNBA. Common sense would tell you that they haven't made money. Last 2 years of Caitlin, they viewership up, attendance up. What was your immediate thoughts, Ryan, when you saw the T-shirts, and what was your first reaction? Be honest.
Yeah, the shirts were a bit much for me, because I don't think that they are. I'm gonna steal from my boy Willie on his show this week. Had said, when somebody says you owe me, it means that you should get something for the past, right? Like, I owe you one means you did something for me before. When they are talking more recently their numbers are up, right? The national viewership, and I have the numbers literally right in front of me. The national viewership is up 23% year over year. Attendance is up 26%, highest in the decade. And then I think what are the other ones? Merch sales are up 40%, driven by rookie sensations that have come into the league, not just named Caitlin Clark. But we can, there's certainly a correlation between Caitlin Clark and the viewership numbers going up, but it's also the hate factor, the race factor, call it what you want. Like, you can't pull that out of it. Caitlin Clark's not doing it by herself, but there is certainly a correlation to the things that she does, right? When Caitlin Clark was out and they played the Chicago Sky, ticket numbers or ticket prices dropped from, I don't know, in the hundreds to double digits, right? So, like, because you didn't have that Angel Reese, Caitlin Clark, ticket prices dropped. So there was that. So I don't think they're owed anything, but I think they should have something coming, right? Getting 9% of that revenue is pretty crazy, but I feel like it was probably a very big number considering where it used to be at, right? Like, their merch numbers could not have been very high. As big of a fan as I am of the old school players of Diana Taurasi and Sue Bird and Lisa Leslie, all these women that came, Dawn Staley, like all these women that came
Candace
before
Parker.
Candace Parker, right? All these women that came before the Caitlin Clarks and the Paige Beckers and all the players we have now, right? The Kelsey Plums, like all of them. Big fan of them. But their numbers weren't the same as what it is now. The thing that I hate is how everybody's like, yeah, but they're subsidized by the NBA. Okay, well, in year 28, what did the numbers look for the NBA? I'm pretty sure that they weren't making money, right? But when the players like Magic and Bird came in and those numbers started to go up, the salaries started to go up because you had to. And it wasn't, and they weren't profitable. They certainly weren't profitable. Let's call it what it is. I'll tell you right now, when I was at Flow was not profitable 1 second that I worked there. Did I get a raise every year? Damn right I did, because they're paying me what I'm worth. Yes. That's what it's about, guys. Like, look at your job. You're paid what you're worth, not what the company's worth. You're paid what you are worth. Your fair market value between you and your employer. If you are bringing in more to your employer, you should get that money. You are owed the money for the effort you're putting in. So no, I don't think they're owed anything, but I think that there should be more coming because the new CBA is ending right now. That's why everybody's like, why are they trying to get money right now? It's like, well, the new CBA is up. So, and when the new CBA takes over, there's a $200 million deal that is going to be coming in for their TV and broadcast rights. So that the only reason that is now a $200 million deal is because of the numbers that I spoke of the merch sales being up 40%, viewership being up 23%, all these other things, numbers being going up and to the right. If things are going up and to the right, you're like, damn, we're in good shape. So I feel like that's the issue with all these people talking about, well, the league's not profitable. The league's not profitable. Okay, well, next time you ask for a raise at your companies, make sure your company's profitable before you ask for more money. Because if they're not, then you're not owed shit, if that's what your logic is. So they should be getting more. They are bringing more viewership. Asia Wilson has there's a number of women that now have their own shoe. And so there's a lot more infusion of money, not just in the WNBA, mind you, but in women's sports in general. So those numbers are being driven up. If you look at the Women's College World Series this year, those numbers were way higher than the men's, way higher, and have been way higher for the last couple of years on the softball Women's World Series than on the men's baseball World Series. Same thing when it comes to women's basketball in college. Those numbers are higher than the men's. And the Final Four, the men's Final Four, is a cash cow for the men. But the women are bringing in more money. So the infusion of money is coming into play literally everywhere. You're seeing it for women's sports. So you can't be over here talking about, oh, it looks so great to have women's sports being transcended and doing this and doing that. But then the second that they ask for more or ask what they are worth, you're like, well, you're not profitable yet. It's like, no, it doesn't make any damn sense. So I think that they should be getting paid more money in the future. Caitlin Clark making $80,000 a year on her player salary is pretty insane. Because, I have conversations for jobs that are paid more than that. And I'm sitting here with a microphone in front of me and have never played a professional sport in my life. I know that she's making well over that with her endorsement deals and everything else, but her salary itself shouldn't be equivalent to mine. Not even close. I'm not putting my body on the line for anybody. I'm sitting here talking. So let's level set. And make sure that we are doing our due diligence and we're not just talking out of our ass and saying, well, they're not profitable. They're subsidized by the NBA, because most of the businesses that we all work for are not profitable.
Yeah, I have a very strong feeling Eddie Money is going to send me this clip to myself and ask me for a raise for being executive producer on the show. That was my whole case. You just blew it out of the water. Like, we don't make any money. How do you want to raise? But yeah, you just broke it down. Thanks a lot, Ryan.
Well, that's the truth, though, and it is.
Yeah. So you know what? I want people to settle down, because, like I said, it didn't make any sense to me either. You start looking into it. Caitlin Clark making $80,000 a year, wild, when she's selling out big arenas. TV revenue, but like you said, the TV contract is coming. At the ESPYs, whether you look at it or not, they were like 3 or 4 jokes were brought up about the WNBA, and that's a positive, man. The spotlight has never been so bright. Now that being said, I do want to get a little into Caitlin Clark, because you weren't on the show, but 3-4 weeks ago we gave our Mount Rushmore of WNBA, and I think Eddie Money and Rafa had Caitlin Clark in their Mount Rushmore. I did not. I think it's ridiculous. Exactly. Listen, has she brought eyes? 100%. But let's look at her stats right now. I mean, there's
for the jury though. I did not make a Mount Rushmore for
okay.
For evidence.
Oh, you did it. Yeah. But she's not having the best of years offensively. Sort of struggling. Eddie Money, is there any way you could pull up maybe the top 5 scorers in the WNBA? I only bring this up because of this. I do say, don't bite the hand that feeds you. And I know these girls. I believe these girls, there are some girls that should have, that I get why they might have some strife or some anger towards Caitlin, because they are better than her. Okay. Mm-hmm. At the same time, she is bringing in revenue. She is bringing in eyeballs. She is bringing in popularity. So yeah, let's see it. Oh God, Eddie, I'm blind. You're gonna have to blow that up, or give me the numbers. Offensive leaders.
Okay, so she's not in top 5 for points. She's actually way farther down here.
Yeah, she's been out a lot more this year.
Yeah,
though.
she has been
So,
out though.
Yeah, she's been injured a
Yeah,
lot
but
more.
that doesn't take out your average.
Yeah, her shooting percentage is not as good as it was last year, and I'm not like I'm not a hater of Caitlin Clark. I think she's amazing for the game, but I also think that a lot of fans are amazed by the one thing she does very well. I think she does more things than one very well, but it's her ability to shoot deep threes that everybody goes batshit crazy over. Right? It's the same. It's the Steph Curry factor. Even though we've seen Steph Curry do a lot more, but it's kind of the same thing where we look at Caitlin Clark and we're like, ooh, she shoots like him. Right? Like she's shooting from the logo because we've all been out on the court and try to shoot a long shot, and these people are doing it with ease. So that's why I think a lot of people are like, ooh, like that's pretty crazy. And that's what's bringing in more eyes. But like, there's a good amount of talent in the WNBA. You got to remember, like she tied the 3-point record last year as a rookie.
Yeah.
So it's not like it's not like she did something that hadn't been done before. She did something that people weren't paying attention to before. That was the thing. So, and again, I'm not a Caitlin Clark hater. I think she's a phenomenal basketball player. I think she deserves all the props that she gets. But if you watch her body language, she doesn't look like the greatest teammate some of the time. She gets pissed off and they don't give her the ball. Like in this game, she's not Kobe. She's not the Mamba, right? That's not who she is. Where she can afford to say, I get the ball every time up the court. So I think there's some capable basketball players on her team. There's capable players in the WNBA. But again, I understand why she brings eyes to the game. It's her ability to shoot threes, and it's it's that ability that has people oohing and eyeing over the things that she has done. But I would not put her on the Mount Rushmore. She doesn't have any championships. Not in college, not even in high school. I think she has any championships either. So she's gotta win things to be put on that. Plus she has to play more than 2 damn years here, guys. Like if that's all it takes, then give me Paige Beckers on the all-time Mount Rushmore. Like just stop. You know what I mean? Like it doesn't make any sense, right? Like I'm not gonna put Kelsey Plum on that list too. You know who had the scoring record in college before Caitlin Clark? Kelsey Plum. So let's call it what it is. She's a phenomenal basketball player, but she's not there yet. She needs more than 2 years to do it. She hasn't surpassed Diana Taurasi or Sue Bird or any of these players yet. So give the girl some time, but you're stupid if you discount anything that she has brought to the game, whether it be merch sales or eyes or whatever else, or sold out arenas or higher ticket sales or anything else. She has certainly brought that. But I will say that before she came in, there were teams that were selling out arenas. Right. So it's not like it is a correlation for the Indiana Fever to do it. It is a correlation for some other teams to do it. But there were some teams like the Aces who were selling out arenas before Caitlin Clark got into the league.
Yeah. And you got to look down the road. Like you said, there's been some Paige Beckers. There's been some rookies. We have Juju from USC who's going to come in. And I feel,
who broke Caitlin's records as a freshman
too. Right? I mean, that might be the Magic Johnson, Larry Bird dynamic that we really, because as of right now, it's been Shaq's niece from LSU.
Angel Reese.
She's really not the basketball Angel Reese. She's really not the player that Juju is or is going to be. I think, like you said, that big contract is coming. can't wait to see Juju in the WNBA. I'm sure, hopefully, is she even going to play this year after the knee? She's probably. I mean, I wouldn't risk
maybe halfway
playing.
through. I think she comes in, but I think
Yeah.
she's a surefire top 3 pick, no matter if she plays or not. Juju's a baller, and that's there's no two ways about it. But like, call it what it is, man. Caitlin Clark's a phenomenal player, but even the wrestling team sells out Carver Hawkeye at Iowa, so she's not doing things that other people aren't doing. And so and I've been in those crazy crowds at Carver Hawkeye, and I'm sure it gets probably crazier for Caitlin Clark or whatever else, because wrestling fans are different. But like, you give her props where she's due, but don't call her the savior of everything that is holy, because there's other teams that have certainly sold out their own arenas. But again, like I said, I'm not discounting what she has brought to WNBA. And you'd be stupid to even do that, because she is the reason why those contracts are what they are, and why so many more women are being recognized, because they saw Caitlin Clark in college and they wanted to see her play against all these other women, and now they're seeing it. And it's allowing these other players to get the things that the eyeballs that they should have had on them before. But I mean, A'ja Wilson is still that girl. A'ja Wilson's still the number one player. Her and Stewie and UNESCO, like, those are ballers, man, like absolute ballers. And I think the animosity towards Caitlin Clark comes from the fact that these women have been there and have been doing it before she got there. And everyone just wants to say that everyone is now watching them because of Caitlin Clark, when it's not really true. Just because you pay attention to the WNBA because of one girl who can shoot from the logo doesn't mean that that's the reason for everybody else.
The hate, even one of their prominent analysts, I heard, came out and said that the Indiana, what's the name
Fever?
of the team? Not the Pacers, the Fever, are more dangerous without her. I mean, that's a WNBA analyst. That, to me, like I said, I'm not that's pure hate. That just seemed wild to me. And so that's how she becomes so polarizing. I believe people love her, or the people in her own league don't like her.
I think the reason that was said was because when she's in the game, they feel obligated to get her the ball, whereas when she's not in the game, they play a little bit freer, because there's not a thought in the back of their mind of, we have to get her the ball. So I don't think they're more dangerous. I feel like they play freer, because it can be probably more of a cohesive offense that doesn't have to run through one person who doesn't like physicality. So there's the difference, right? I think it might like slow things down a bit for the offense to move the ball. That's the difference. But I don't think they're more dangerous for sure.
Ryan,
I think,
how do you explain 8.8 assists a game? She's a phenomenal passer.
Yeah.
She could dish the rock. That's for sure.
I think it's a thing, right? Where when your star player's out, a lot of people had to pick up the slack, and I feel like they gained confidence when she wasn't in the lineup, because they had to, and they realized they could play without her. And that was the thing, right? But they're certainly not a better team without her. She is their 3-point threat. She opens up their offense, and she makes teams play them differently, but she's not infallible. She's not without mistake. She's not the player that should be on anybody's Mount Rushmore right now, because there's a number of players that are better than her in the WNBA.
Yeah. Well, I don't know if that's what people wanted to hear. We sort of, I feel like we backed them up. Like you said, I don't think I agree with you 100%. The money is coming, and I can see why they are being trying to get ahead of this and be like, listen, we know the money's coming. The agreement is coming. Pay us what we're owed. So people. People want to hate.
Michael Brown said, I
But
never watched the game until she got there, so it's 100% because of her. He said, Ryan's got a little Clark hate in him.
No, I don't have a little. I don't have Clark hate. No, like I said, I love Caitlin Clark, but I don't. I am not the kind of. I'm not the kind of guy that just says this shiny new toy is the one reason why everything is owed. Right? Like there's multiple reasons for why they are owed more things in the WNBA, and being somebody who doesn't just watch basketball but sees the infusion of money coming into women's wrestling, into softball, with what Texas Tech is doing with their NIL, it's not a one-to-one thing for me, right? Like there's certainly a through line we talked about earlier of why we're Raiders fans and why we're Falcons fans and why people are fans of the WNBA, but that's not the reason why you stayed, right? That's not the reason why. So no, I don't have Caitlin Clark. I think she's a phenomenal basketball player. I am just not the type that, and I will speak as a journalist. I'm not the type that says that is the one reason why everybody wins. That is not the one reason at all. There's multiple reasons. You don't just walk into the CBA meeting and have a PowerPoint that just says Caitlin Clark on it. That's not how you're going to get, right? It's just a picture of Caitlin Clark, right? It's just her highlight reel. That's not how shit is going to work. So I don't have Caitlin Clark hate. It's just, you have to have an argument that is multifaceted, and she's not the one answer. She may be the answer for you again, but she's not the answer for everybody paying attention to the WNBA, because women's sports overall is on the rise. It's the same reason why people come around for Katie Ledecky to do the races that she does in swimming in the Olympics, but she's not the only reason, right? You want to see a hell of a lot more. So there's always more than one reason. And while I respect what Caitlin Clark has brought to the game and the eyes that she has brought to the game as well, I won't just put her picture up and say she's the only reason why.
You said you sounded like Trump answering that, LMAO.
Jesus. Now that is an insult. Kick his ass. I sound way more coherent than that,
I'll
man.
find him for you. I think.
Jesus. Fire up
That's
the jet.
hilarious.
I gotta go make a visit
So-
to Mr. Brown.
I think I might know where he is. I'll find him for you and tie him up. So guys, yeah, I hope we satisfied your bloodthirst for the WNBA, the Caitlin Clark hate. Like I said, I was originally angered by the shirts. I've tried to educate myself, and I'm 100% on board with Ryan about the money is coming right now. You're just gonna have to be patient, man. What are we talking about next, Eddie Money? What do we got? Did we
Last
satisfy
thing we have
that?
on the docket, we got the MLB. So we got the Dodgers. Dodgers been on a struggle, barely squeezed out a win today. Almost gave that one up.
Yeah.
He really did.
Yeah,
That was
Glass
brutal.
pitched seven innings, only gave him one run. I
It's
think
been rough.
12 strikeouts. It was the second longest pitching start in his career coming back, and then immediately Kirby Yates comes in, 3 straight walks on 18 pitches.
I mean, listen, you cannot pin this, although there has been injuries all up and down the pitching staff, right? The offense has been struggling. Rafa addressed it, that he thought that Mookie should lead off. They did it the other day. Mookie leads off a walk. Ohtani, boom, hits a 2-run home run instead of a leadoff home run.
Mhm.
I don't. Yeah, to me that makes a lot of sense. I think Mookie has a lot of his energy and effort has been to be a very good defensive shortstop, which every shortstop should try to do. Do I think it's affected him at the plate? 100%. Right? I mean, they went on a really bad streak that pulled one out. Do you think they do something at the trade deadline? Do you think it's just simply injuries? Max Muncy, was having one of the best years of his career until he got hurt. There's definitely a hole at third base. How do you see this playing out? Because the Dodgers, they're all in, every year. I don't know if they're going to be patient. How do you see this playing out?
They're made for October. That's the thing, is they're made for October. And every team, besides the Rockies, because they have had the shittiest year ever, but every team has their slide. And I think with the Dodgers being who they are, when they have their skid, everybody points and they're like, oh shit, look, the Dodgers are having their skid. So I think it's more health than it is a missing player. They have so many guys, so many pitchers that are on the IR right now, right? Like it is just not good. So I would honestly love to see Shohei not be a starting pitcher when he's fully healthy. I would much rather see Shohei come in relief, to be completely honest, because I feel like that would be able to bolster the bullpen even more. If he was to come in for Glasnow, if he was to come in for Kershaw, and then Vesia comes in after that, right? Like give me that rotation where it's Blake Snell comes in and he throws, seven innings, and then you have Ohtani comes in and throws 2, and then Vesia that comes in and throws, like, give me that, right? Like give me that kind of a game where those guys are throwing back to back, where your best arms are truly healthy. Or like right now, they're not healthy. And the bats definitely have to wake up. But I feel like if the pitching to back up their starting pitching was better, they wouldn't have been on a lot of those on the losing side of a lot of those games, because they were winning a lot of those games. There were games where they just gave the relief pitching would come in and a whole bunch of runs. Same thing happened today, right? Like Freddie Freeman luckily comes in and that catch isn't made. Like it was kind of a lucky walk-off today. Yeah. I'm hoping that they build on it, but it was kind of a lucky walk-off today. So I want to see those bats really truly come alive, because it's been bad from the batter's box, but then it's bad from the pitcher's mound in relief. And those are the two things that they certainly need to have in check. But yeah, I would much rather see, May as a starter, Snell as a starter, Glasnow, Kershaw, those guys come in as starters. And then you have a Shohei that comes in and can pitch 1 or 2. And then you have a Vesia that comes in and closes it out, right? Like those are the stronger arms. But like I said, the Dodgers are built for October. It's just what it is. That's why I feel like there's no rush to get Snell back, even with them having the 7-game skid that they had, or having Yamamoto come back. Like it was very bad how many games they lost. Yeah. But I think we're pushing for October. This is when we need our strongest arms. We don't need to rush these guys back. We need them later in the year, and they feel like they're good enough to do the things that they need to do right now to make it to that postseason.
Their biggest thing, obviously, bullpen, but I feel like one of the biggest pitchers that has been in conversation of what they should do with is Dustin May. A lot of people think he's a trade piece to grab someone else. A lot of people think they should still keep him because he does have really good run on his pitch, but his control, at least usually 3 innings in, just goes out of the water. But the other day, after he came in for Shohei, when he did Shohei did 3 innings, and then Dustin May did he went 5 innings, no runs allowed. He looked really good. So that might be something they do there. And rest of the world, TSA said May can't start, but actually I would say the complete opposite. I don't think Dustin May can come in during the bullpen. I can't, if you bring him, let's say 5th or 6th inning, there's 1 out, you got 2 runners on base. I don't trust Dustin May to get out of the inning clean. I need him to start fresh with nobody on base, because he can give up runs, or at least give up people on base, but can still somehow get out of his own inning, much rather than get out of somebody else's inning.
I actually like what Dave Roberts did, having Shohei come in, knowing we just want him to pitch 2 or 3 innings, no matter what, no matter if he's pitching a no-hitter or not. and scheduling May to maybe pitch another 3 to 4 innings. I kind of like that because just logistically, it's difficult for Shohei to come out of a bullpen when he's at bat. He doesn't have the time to warm up, but he will have the time to warm up if he's sort of like that piece. We're gonna pitch him 3 innings, give us a clean 3 innings, and bring in a Dustin May. I thought that was kind of brilliant. But you guys don't think? Listen, Michael Brown said David Vassay, who's their locker room reporter, said that 100% they're going after people some relief. It's a glaring need. I think that's going to happen.
Mhm.
You guys don't see any other big like a Nolan Arenado, a big time third baseman come in, or a big bat from the outfield. Conforto in left hasn't lit the league on fire by any means. You don't see a big bat them coming after someone like that.
Dave Roberts seems to love Conforto. They spent a lot of money on him, and they're trying to to get his money's worth. I mean,
they're trying to make it work.
Yeah, I use this app called Reel to watch all the baseball games. So every time a batter is up in the box, people can comment on it. So today, when they pinch hit Conforto for Outman, someone commented shit for shit, and then first pitch out.
Oh my god,
it was like funny as fuck.
Yeah, it's pop out after pop up. It's
crazy. No bats or anything, but definitely a closer. I know one closer or two was Emmanuel Clase, and then one from the Twins.
Yeah.
I'm forgetting his name. The Twins kept coming up. Michael Brown just said it. He said that guy said the Twins closer along with Buxton in a trade maybe. So hopefully some closer because Tanner Scott right now it's like 50-50 basically if he's going to have a good outing or not.
I just can't wait for people to get really mad when Paul Skeens is a Dodger.
Or Screwball. Screwball's free agent next season. Man.
Oh man, that's gonna piss off everybody.
Come on now, Livy Dunn in LA. People would not be able to handle that.
Oh. Oh my goodness, that'd be crazy. You know what? Let's end off on this. We got about 10 minutes. We talked about. I wanted to talk about the modern athlete, the mindset. If you guys don't know, Scotty Scheffler, number 1 golfer in the world, just won the Claret Jug, the Open, which is a major across the pond, won it handily and in a dominating fashion. And he's been on another level the last 2-3 years in golf. And he did a presser before the tournament started. And he sort of really went deep and talked about how he doesn't want to be identified as the best golfer in the world. That's not his main focus. That his main focus is family, being a good person, being a good father. Now, a lot of people gave him shit for this, Ryan. A lot of people said he was acting sort of like there was emu freaking memes like how he doesn't care. Now, Scotty Scheffler has made $19 million this year alone. His caddy, because they get 10%, has made 1.9. The average golfer on the tour right now makes about 1.7. His caddy is making more money than some of the golfers. Now, is this? I don't know where to stand on this because it is a good message, Ryan. You should be a better father than you are a football player, basketball player, a baseball player, or whatever sport, or a mother, whatever. But that doesn't seem to inspire what America and Americans want out of their superstar athletes. They want them to be Michael Jordan. They want them to be Kobe Bryant. They want them to be Derek Jeter. The Mamba mentality of killer instinct. But it seems that, I don't know why, and tell me if I'm wrong, the trend is, mental health and be a good person, not be that killer out there. I'm just wondering if you've noticed that trend as well. Or is it just easy to be that when you're so good as Scotty Scheffler is at his craft?
If you go back and you watch Kobe Bryant in interviews talking about his daughter, I mean, hell, the term girl dad became a bigger deal when Kobe said it than anything. So even though he had Mamba mentality and everything else, Kobe wanted to kill you on the court, but then he wanted to be the best dad off the court. It's just that when he was playing, he didn't show those things. That was just his mentality, right? Like he wasn't showing that he was a girl dad when he was doing a presser after a game or anything else like that. But those girls were right there, front and center with him whenever they could be, right? So I think the modern athlete mindset has changed, just like when we were talking about contract talks. We were talking about people wanting to be more business savvy. I feel like they realize that there are more things, like they keep the main thing, but how that main thing gives life to the rest of their world. And for them, that's the biggest deal. I mean, Jalen Hurts, I thought it was, kind of wild for him to say, but he's like, I didn't put the Super Bowl ring on because I had already moved on. It's like, okay, that's a bit much, but like there's still something to be said about wanting to be a good human and everything else. Right. So I feel like I feel like there's a lot of, there is a lot of mental health talk, and I talk to a number of athletes, obviously, and they do all their mental health checks and stuff like that. I'm privileged enough to be able to speak to multiple time world and Olympic champion Jordan Burroughs, and he would be the first person to tell you of how important his family is to him and how he wants to pour into his kids, and into his wife and into the things that they want. But he also knows that if he isn't the athlete and the man that he is, that a lot of those things aren't cultivated, that he put in the work on the mat and made those sacrifices so that they could have all the things that they wanted. Right. And I saw that firsthand with my uncle, right? I saw him put in the time in the gym and then come home and be a dad, or come home and be an uncle to me, right? I saw him take time while he was literally in the ring to speak to me while I was training and running on the treadmill alongside of the ring. So I saw those things that were very prevalent, right? And just from an athlete standpoint, I also saw those things with my dad, who was a phenomenal businessman and did all the things that he possibly could do so that we could have all those things. But like from an athlete standpoint, I feel like they have a different mindset where they're like, I can be the best that I can be as an athlete, but it's not all that I want to be. And I think that that's kind of where that comes into play now, where their value isn't just in swinging a golf club for them. It's in being a dad and being a good husband and everything else, but they know that they're the one driving the car still.
That makes perfect sense. I just thought it was funny. People actually tried to hate on that take and kind of give him shit. And I thought it was shocking. I thought it was a great message. And then to see the reaction of a lot of people, really shocked me. Now, just to end on this, I mean, what about the guy who is struggling to be? He doesn't have the talents of a Kobe, the talents of a Scotty Scheffler or a Tiger Woods. That guy has to dedicate everything, all of his efforts, to give his family a shot of raising them and supporting them. I understand that side as well. Right? That's another side of the spectrum.
Yeah, but all these guys have to put the work in though, right? Like it's not like it's not like Kobe just became that great. It's not like Michael Jordan just became that great. Rafa loves to talk about how much Michael Jordan didn't win and all these other things. He didn't just become that great. He put in the work. He put in the time. I think I told you guys this before. I'm reading the book Relentless, which was written by Michael Jordan's coach, right? Like,
Yeah.
he put in the work and he put in the time. Scheffler puts in the work and he puts in the time. And even though he keeps the main thing when he has the golf club in his hand, when he doesn't, he's like, I'm more than that, right? I don't want to be known as, a great journalist, right? I don't want to be known as that. I want to be known as a great human and a great person, because at the end of the day, my articles will still be there. You can read a great article and not know who the hell wrote it. But if I treat you like shit, you're like, that guy was an asshole, right? Like, I don't want that. And neither does Scotty Scheffler, right? Like, people don't want that. They don't want to be known as being that kind of horrible person. Some people do. There's certainly some people in the world that want to be known as a piece of shit human. That's just what their persona is, and that's just who they're going to be. But like, I think for a lot of athletes these days, they're like, it transcends who I am to be, more than an athlete and everything else. So, I feel like people want you to be one thing, and that's it. Like, I don't want to see you as human, because you're here to entertain me. You have this incredible talent that entertains me, so just be that thing. But in actuality, if you went to them at their job and you were like, are you the best burger flipper at McDonald's, or are you an awesome friend to your buddies out of here? I would much rather, have somebody around that was a better friend than burger flipper. Right? Like, just kind of how it works, and it's kind of how it is. So I don't know. For people that want to shit on it, put it in perspective for them, and just kind of leave it there. But yeah. I love how the athlete mentality has certainly shifted, where they realize that there are things that are bigger. However, they still maintain that they keep the main thing of like who they are on the field or on the course or whatever else. But then they can still kind of flip that switch and be a good human when they're not on there.
I love it. Great take. And I love how you stated that. Guys, that is episode 142. Two nobodies with the mic. Eddie Money. I want to thank Ryan for stepping in for Rafa. Eddie Money, thanks to you. Ryan, give us the podcast the Quad Pod. Also, I need to get Zahid on here. When are the World Championships? How soon till the World Championships?
They're
wrestling,
coming up. I think they're in September. I can't remember. I don't have the date off the top of my head. I'll look it up right now.
But I do, Zahid came out, spent the weekend with us, played golf with them. By the way,
September 13th to the 21st, by the way.
In golf as well. All right. Yeah. I would love to get Zahid on the show with you, really, because all the dudes. The dudes from Dagestan and Mongolia, Iran.
As much as I can.
The guys the competition that he has coming. Yeah. So I'd like to get that done sooner than later, to get Zahid on here with you. That's going to be money. When's the next episode of Quad Pod? I know you guys just did the whole Fargo thing. Fargo looked amazing. A bunch of great clips, a bunch of young kids. These high school athletes, man. My God, we got to get into that next week and why they're so damn advanced. It's insane.
Well, Quad Pod comes out.
Another show.
It is. Quad Pod comes out every Tuesday. We're on Spotify. We're on Apple. You can watch the podcast on Spotify. The video is always on Spotify, or you can watch on YouTube. We appreciate everybody that listens and watches, and we're trending upward. We've got a good amount of subscribers. We've got some really awesome sponsors with Adidas Wrestling. We're actually working with Adidas Wrestling right now. We're probably going to have some shoe giveaways at the beginning of the season, where we're going to kind of bestow some of their new shoes on some lucky wrestlers. But yeah, every Tuesday, it's usually there by about 12 Eastern time. Actually, way sooner than that. So it's usually in the mornings. So you guys are just waking up, and I'm posting it probably around 7:30 in the morning here for me. But yeah, it's every Tuesday it comes out. We'll be back on. We record on Monday nights, so head over. Make sure you guys are subscribing. We're Quad Pod Wrestling on on Instagram. We're Quad Pod Wrestle on Twitter. We're going to do a lot more content on social media when the season comes around. Right now, it's literally just us talking. So I don't want to just continue to just post lots and lots of clips of us just talking about some of these headlines. I want to actually talk wrestling too. But make sure you guys are following us. All our Twitter handles are on our page, every single one of our pages as well. We've got discount codes for all our sponsors too. So if anybody is looking to get any Adidas wrestling gear, you can use our discount code, which is really awesome. You get 25% off on there. But yeah, I enjoy it. I love being able to talk to these guys. We'll have, I know we have an interview with another coach coming out, probably, I think maybe either tomorrow or Friday. I'm going to be talking with Nate Angle about why he is leaving Oregon State. Him and I talk a good bit. He's got to go to Hungary on Friday, so that interview is going to be pushed for a couple of weeks. But yeah, we're going to have, I believe we're working right now to try and get Matt Valenti on, head coach at Penn. They just got a $20 million donation, which is one of the biggest donations to come for wrestling. So we're going to have a lot of really cool interviews, a lot of really good stuff as the season comes around with a lot of coaches and wrestlers. But when the season comes back, we'll have even more. But right now it's just us kind of talking wrestling and talking headlines. And so head on over. We're on, like I said, we're on YouTube, Spotify, Apple. You can find me on Twitter, Mr._R Holmes, and it'll lead you to literally everything that I do besides Quad Pod as well.
I love it, man. Eddie Money, any last words for the people before episode 142 ends?
Just get ready for football, man. Week by week, you're gonna see content. You're gonna see the big social media start pushing it. You've already seen just everybody posting literally anything from training camp. So it's
even people. There's people that are posting old shit from training camp and try to say it's happening right now.
It happened actually. It happened to ESPN. They someone posted someone catching a touchdown from Dak from last year's, and they said it was George Pickens, and then ESPN posted it the next day.
Yep. Yeah, it was on first. It was on first.
Oh, they had to apologize.
They had to apologize for it. Yeah. So, I mean,
I saw that.
Stupid. Very stupid by ESPN, considering that guys are not in pads yet.
Yeah.
So, kind of a dead giveaway. They're not in pads in the first week of camp. It does not happen.
Oh my God. Wild.
Don't trust Twitter.
Wild. Eddie Money. Eddie Money. We got to get that your beer Olympics for the draft order. We got to get that on camera. That has to happen.
I'll try.
Good luck for everyone doing early fantasy football. We're going to go over some more fantasy rankings and division predictions these coming weeks. We're going to ramp it up as well. Thanks for everyone. Thank you to Rick, Zero Cool, Matt Rocha, Cecilia, everyone on Instagram Live, Rusted Royalty, Michael Brown. Although Ryan Holmes is coming for you, Michael Brown. You better run and hide. I don't think you know how big Ryan is. But that's it, guys. We love you. Thanks again, Rafa. We'll see if he can make it next week. If not, I'm hoping Ryan will be available. But we love you guys. Off to another night shift. And again, thank you guys again for joining us. Peace out, Mike.